Welcome to Before the Bounce for round 18. Hopefully it's not our last episode of season 2020, but unfortunately that is out of our control. Saints got the win over GWS last night, which means there's just one spot left remaining inside the top 8. For us to make it, we're going to have to win today by any margin. 1 to 100 points, doesn't matter. Just got to secure that victory. And then we need the Western Bulldogs to go down to Fremantle tomorrow night at Cazaly Stadium. The Dogs are in pretty good form. They've won 4 of their last 5 games, but Freo are no easy side to come up against. So hopefully they get the better of the conditions in Cairns and get a victory for us to help us slot into 8th position. But all we can focus on is our result today against Essendon at Metricon Stadium, a ground that we've played at twice this season, lost both of those games to Brisbane and the Dogs, but it shouldn't hold too many fears. And what I want to focus on firstly is our defence. 4 weeks ago, we were 4th in the competition for points against. That has slipped to 8th in recent weeks. So we've been conceding scores a little bit easier. One man who's been fantastic at helping keep the opposition at bay is Stephen May. He's 6th in the competition for spoils this season, had 7 intercept possessions against GWS last week. He's in all-Australian form. He's been stopping everything and really helping us rebound into attack. But when he's not marking the ball, I think we've got to be better at killing it at ground level and stopping the opposition from getting those easy scores. I want to show you a few examples from last week where Brett Daniels actually got on the scoreboard just with easy toe pokes because we didn't quite kill that ball at ground level. We kept the ball alive here. The pressure was a little bit late and just allowed him to get that boot to ball. So we need to cut those ones out, and then it's the scores from turnovers. This one with Melksham gives up the easy handball, and that really leaves us vulnerable and open for the counter-attack. GWS can then get out the back and score. So hopefully we can stop that today against Essendon, who are a side that really thrive off that counter-attack sort of footy. We heard from Simon Goodwin yesterday, and although this is a must-win clash, all he's worried about is the consistency in the way we play and the opportunity that lies ahead.
You know, there's going to be lots of opportunity in the game that we play tomorrow, and a chance to own moments within games and own our role and execute it to a really high level. And we're really trying to work hard as a footy club to produce the same Melbourne team week after week, no matter what type of game we're playing in, whether it's round 18 and looking for a spot in the finals, whether it's round 2 or whether it's a final.
In terms of our side, we've made the one change, with Michael Hibberd returning from that ankle injury to replace Neville Jetta, who has been omitted. And it's a more consistent looking 22. It's really balanced and should go well today. But what I want to focus on is the 4-quarter effort. We've had lulls throughout games in recent weeks. GWS kicked 6 of 7 goals at one stage last week. You can't afford to give that up in finals footy, and today is a good warm-up for that. The other thing that I think is a real positive in our game, we did it last week and against St Kilda, is we stood up in big moments. And I want to highlight Trent Rivers for that. We know he kicked that left foot inside out barrel from 40 metres. That was a little bit of a fluke, probably a 1 in 100 type kick, but it was then what he did in defence. He laid this big spoil on Heath Shaw, and 10 seconds later, a massive contest with Harry Perryman to keep the ball in front. If that ball gets to the back, GWS are out and could potentially pinch the game. So if we can stand up in those big moments, it'll really help us win these big games of footy. And a man who I think will thrive in that sort of footy is Jack Viney. He's had under 14 touches in 3 of the last 4 weeks, so he'll be keen to get his hands on the footy today. And we caught up with him yesterday afternoon before heading down to Gold Coast. It all comes down to this. Are these the big games you look forward to playing in?
Yes, you don't want to put yourself in this position where you're required to win a game, but it's where we find ourselves, and looking to step up, and pretty crucial game to win this one.
Finals next week if we can get through. Do you feel like the boys are playing good enough footy to really compete in those big moments?
Yeah, I think so. I'm confident that we have the brand of football to be able to compete in finals football, and I think especially this year, any team that makes the 8 and it gets the opportunity to play a finals, I think is a chance. So we need to execute and get the result tomorrow to be in that position.
It's been a tough, compressed season, but we're coming off a 7-day break. Does that allow you to feel a bit fresher?
Yeah, you take the 7-day break, absolutely. I think we had, multiple kind of 4 or 5 day break games in a row, so you probably get to the end of that block and looking for, a nice 7-day break to recharge the batteries. So, I think most of the boys are feeling good coming into it.
Overall, how is your body feeling this year compared to previous seasons?
Yeah, it's feeling really good. It's been holding up well, and like some of the other boys, I'm sure it's a little bashed up with the small turnarounds, but looking to finish off the season strongly.
There's obviously been a lot going on, a lot of external talk. Has it been hard to just focus on Essendon for this one game?
Not really. Personally, and internally as well, we really just don't kind of pay too much attention to what's being spoken internally. We try and stick to the process as much as possible because we feel like that's the best way of getting the result we want. So there hasn't been too much of that noise infiltrate our preparation for this week.
Moving on to Essendon, they've made 3 changes with Hurley, Laverde and Redmond returning to provide them with a little bit of a boost. And on paper, they're not in great form. They've lost 5 of their last 6, but that is against 5 of the top 6 sides in the competition, so that could be slightly misleading. Their last win comes against Hawthorn in round 14, where they were actually 6 goals down at half-time, came storming home with 11 second-half goals. And the type of footy they were playing in that half could beat anyone. They like to run the ball from half-back, really push through the corridor and open up the ground. They're 3rd in the league for handball receives and 2nd for running bounces. So that's the style of play they like to go with. But if we can slow them down, they are 5th in the competition for backwards kicks. So that's what we want them doing with the ball today. They do have some damaging players despite being the 3rd youngest team in the competition last week. And I want to start with Jordan Ridley at half-back. He's 3rd in the league for intercept marks, so a real damaging player. Then they like to use their run. They've got the Adam Sards, they've got Parrish, McGrath, Cutler running through the centre. And up forward, it's Anthony McDonald-Tipungwuti, who is 4th in the competition for tackles inside 50, 9th for ground ball gets. And when he kicks goals, Essendon usually win. We also have to watch out for Zach Merritt, who is 9th in the league for disposals, but then 7th for kicks inside 50 that are marked. So we don't want him delivering the ball inside 50 today. We should also note that it is John Worsfold, their senior coach's last game at the helm, so they'll be keen to get up and about for him. The other thing I think worth mentioning is both us and Essendon haven't had a bye since round 3 because of that game that was postponed. So fatigue is starting to set in a little bit. Hopefully we can run out the game well today. Our 4th quarters have been pretty strong in the last couple of weeks. The other things to look out for today, we know we look like a more dangerous side when we're running the ball through the centre of the ground, and we saw a few good examples last week. Kozzy Pickett really had an impact on the game last week. He had 15 touches, injected a little bit of pace from half-back, got involved in this one a couple of times, finishes with a Spargo goal. And then this one I wanted to highlight from behind the goals because we can see Kozzy and Hunty involved at half-back, and while the ball goes out to the wing, they run hard forward. They get on their bike and get involved at the other end of the field as well. Hunty doesn't even get a stat for this one, but sets up a goal, and that pace is what creates the scores for us. Finally, it's Langdon and Spargo. Langdon runs all day, and these two combined on 2 occasions to push the ball up the field, get the switch going from one side of the ground to find that open space, and this play actually ended with Rivers kicking that match winner. The next thing I want to highlight is just being hard at the footy. Essendon are 17th in the competition for contested possessions, so it's an area we can really get on top at today. We were tough at the ball last week. There were some really big hits. We saw this one with Neville Jetta. Although he's not in the side today, he's putting his body on the line for the team, as well as Christian Petrarca. And both of these examples lead to us getting the ball and pushing inside 50. So if we can do that today, if we can be tougher, that'll go a long way to us winning the game of footy. And finally, I want to see us put the game to bed really early. It's a big game. In the past, we've struggled with these ones. Everyone remembers the Collingwood match in 2017. Even in recent weeks, the Fremantle and Sydney losses with the season on the line. Today, we just have to win. And if we can put the game to bed early, that'll get some nerves out of the way, and hopefully we can enjoy an exciting game of footy. That's all from Before the Bounce. Hopefully we've got a few more episodes left in this season, but if not, thanks very much for your time, and hopefully you enjoy the contest this afternoon.